Hey folks, how you going? It's the 22nd of the 5th, 2023, 3:24 p.m. Monday afternoon. So what have I got today? I thought I'd do a part 5 on toxic behaviours. This one is interesting because you get some people that will behave this way. Even if it's unknown to them, they will do exactly what's written on this. So this comes under my writing. So provoking and mocking and territorial behaviours. The territorial part is what I call gangster behaviour as well, because it has nothing to do with democracy whatsoever. It is simply to be in control at the expense of others, emotionally, financially, whatever. It's always to benefit somebody else that doesn't want you to have any type of freedom. And that includes this. Anything, basically. And provoking and mocking are obviously two main tactics of simple bullies, basically. So I'm obviously reading this, but not necessarily in order of how I've written it. It's simply just three pages of notes to remind me of what we're talking about. Okay. And this is usually regardless of age types or points and genders. These behaviours can either be aggressive or surreptitious. Surreptitious, spelled Surreptitious, which means by stealth. And generally, if someone does those two types of behaviours, I usually call them manipulators. And basically that's what they are. And they usually don't care about anybody but themselves. They're very self-centered. And this is a generalization of human behavior. This isn't attacking any individual. Provoking can be anything, basically. It could be anything they have observed of you, or if they've seen you frustrated with something, they might even repeat something you've said out of context. And remember, context is always everything about what you've said or done. And that's the first thing people will remove is context, so they can accuse you of being a liar or whatever. And that's the first thing also that they declare, is that you're dishonest and a liar. That's the first thing they will do. And which means they have no boundaries of where they go. Let me see. And some people will actually pretend that they're your friend, and when in actual fact, it's just a pretense, just so you can lower your guard and they can attack you in some way or form, or defame you, demoralize you, whatever. These people aren't your friend. As you get older, you'll start to spot the clues and the red flags, so to speak. And as I said, this is regardless of gender. And you'll find the more complicated this gets is usually people that are over 20, 25 years old, usually, because they've got life experience, so they know human condition and behaviour very well by now. And so they're the ones you should look out for, especially if they're around my age or under my age. So that should be a good indication to you of what to look for. Usually anyone under 25 who does this behaviour usually has psychological problems in the first place, or they're just being dishonest. So, but as I said, always check for red flags, which is simply you being patient and observe. So, and also there's the normal type of rivalry, simple rivalry between, just like between siblings, how that rivalry goes along with mocking and messing with each other. Friends will do that too. But these people, as I said, do not care, and definitely not messing with you. They are being fed income, and it's just a pretense. And some of these manipulators don't care about the consequences, in that for them it's actually for their own amusement, believe it or not. And yes, I have observed that. And I'm talking about people over my age, and I'm over 50. Then there's the substance abusers. And I use the word substance abusers because that's a metaphor for also people who are using more than just alcohol. And are trying to find a financial way to pay for all that. And then there's the simple corrupted behavior. People are simply doing things out of greed or money, trying to manipulate others. So, and as I said, it's usually people with life experience who behave this way, or who have their own corruptions that benefits them. And as always, it comes down to honesty. So, and unfortunately for human beings, hypocrisy is part of our survival instinct. So, and as I said, it still comes down to honesty, whether it benefits you or not. And the reason why I mentioned territorial behavior is because if you live in a community or society like I do, where we have a form of democracy, I wouldn't call it 100% democracy because it's not a republic or anything like that. It's still imperialistic because of the lack of laws in our constitution, or known as common law, that is. That's why people use territorial behavior, because they don't want democracy, because democracy they can't control, because democracy gives you freedoms that they don't want you to have. So, and these type of people, what I call manipulators or gangster behavior, always, if they know the laws, they know they can't attack you directly, and they will try and do it surreptitiously or stealthy way, indirectly. And they will target teenagers who will become highly territorial in their behavior and resort to some sort of aggression, violence, and even throwing objects and so on at you or your property, all because of these people. And this is quite common. When I lived at Ladder Park, I used to call these people lieutenants, because that's what they did. They manipulated teenagers to get what they wanted, legal or not. And these behaviors can become, especially when it comes to bullying and this type of behavior, it can become obsessive with these people, even to where they resort in stalking you and trying to find out information about you so they could either demoralize you or find some way to discredit you. And I mean harassment, everything. And I've been stalked in the past and had to do something about it, because I don't substance abuse in any way, form or other. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I read and write, and I fix things. That's what I do. And that's my entertainment. Or I play games, PlayStation games or whatever. It's that simple. for me. That was page 1. So, as I said before, again, these people will also still resort to trash talking, and this trash talk will actually be more surreptitious, especially the older they are, and they will try to get support from locals, neighbours, whatever, and they will start saying things about you that has no contextual basis, or has no validity, or it's not valid in any way whatsoever. But they give enough information to allow people to assume the worst about you without correcting them. And that is how trash talk can lead to unnecessary events. And these people do not care about your personal business. That's what they want to know. And luckily for me, I live in a democracy and I don't have to share my personal business or any other business whatsoever, or my personal space with anybody that I don't choose to want to. I still have that right. So, again, these type of toxic behaviors, as I said, if you see red flags, especially if people aren't being truthful with you, that's a good indication of a red flag, is that if you investigate for yourself and see that there's no truth in what someone's saying because they leave it out to allow you to make assumptions, then, you know, common sense tells you to move on away from this person or people or whatever. It's your choice. If you're an adult over 18, it's your choice by our laws. Okay, page 3. And remember that these people, their main tactic and strategy is to deny everything and only mention anything you may have said or done out of context to make you look bad. That's what they will do. Because as I said earlier in my other videos, they don't care about the truth. They don't believe in the truth. The truth is what they make up and try to convince you or manipulate you on what they want you to believe. And as I said, they always target teenagers. And I mean, they will not acknowledge the truth in any way. And as I said, truth is evidential, or the facts based on evidence, either from witnesses or when you were there. I mean, you know, people aren't stupid, we are complicated. And as I said, these are just notes. I have not read them in order. And also, mocking, like bullying, they also use physical or practical pranks, as they would call it, to try and get an emotional response from you, hopefully in a negative way, so they can, if they have to, or if you report their behaviour to the police, they can say it was just a prank, when in actual fact it's not. They're just trying to manipulate you. And why they mention what they didn't do, or didn't, depending on what they've done. Around here, they may try to remove your objects from your front of your property if they get access to it, or take light bulbs out, or things like that, or even steal from your patio like they've been doing to my place, which is adults have been doing that, not the teenagers. And I know who's been doing that, but I've got no proof at the moment. So that's the type of things that would be called surreptitious, because they're using physical pranks or practical pranks to harass you, so they can justify what they're doing. But in the end, it's still part of bullying, because that's what bullies do. If you combined all this together, you'll find that teenagers have to go through this a lot during high school from other teenagers. And when adults do it, as I said, they're more surreptitious, more stealthy, more indirect, and try and get others to do what they want for them. So, in conclusion, if someone threatens you, report it, but make sure you've got cameras or people witnessing if you can, because they always generally have witnesses to back them up or something like that, and they don't like cameras, obviously, and they will even report it. I live in public housing. Even housing doesn't like cameras because they're cameras. They report it. They record everything, and obviously they're going to complain to public housing that your cameras, blah blah blah, and only because they want to do something not supposed to. And as I said, this is from my experience and inspiration after living in Layla Park for 15 years, known as the Block, which is now quite peaceful, so I'm told. And I mean, I was there over 8 years ago. I remember one day that I think 2 or 3 people died in one day in the block I was in. They overdosed. So it wasn't a nice place. And one of those people they didn't find until a week later by another neighbour, which is a whole, different story. So remember, these people are quite paranoid in some of their behaviours and see you as a potential threat to whatever they want, whatever that may be. So just do what's right by you, be honest, and don't treat people the way they treat you. Because if you're dealing with people of an older age, that will get you in trouble with the law if you're going to be revengeful and so on. Just be honest, stick to the facts, and be safe. I don't know if someone will benefit from this or not. I hope they will. As I said, I don't get paid for my videos putting them on YouTube. I just do this for posterity. And that's it for part 5. So yeah, thanks for watching, and most appreciated, and keep safe. Bye.